that, you know, they've been in this position before and then it took a nosedive. But at the same time, it's very much a toss-up like they all thought. Of course, they all ultimately picked Fadeaway, but oh, dear. Well, that's just unfortunate, isn't it? That's a tone setter. I was just about to say you're really looking for Metsonoris to have a quality defensive showing, and that happens.
You had the chance to back away entirely from the caster sentence, and you still went for it, Chiefs. You know what? That's what I respect about you. You'll never back down. You're going to need to be a little bit more on point than that. Fadeaway, not giving away their opportunities at all. They have been taking every single one of them that they possibly can. This is a bit of an awkward position for me as well, Achieves, because I had Fadeaway 3-2 today, and I had Endpoint 3-0.
So you're looking for Endpoint to win, and then Fadeaway have a bit of a struggle.
I'm not saying biased, but I am saying being right would be nice. We get ourselves towards the final part of our opening minute. It's already 1 up for Fadeaway. They look to try and make it 2. Relating Wave holding that midfield. Metza takes it down. That was a heavy first touch. Ended up just dropping entirely. Still keeps it going.
Oh, he got it.
And Metsonoris takes out the entire team.
Yeah, talk about the ability to recover from an awkward first hit. I think initially was going for a pass to Relating Wave, but it was too strong to really be a clean start to a dribble and too soft to be a pass. And so Metza just tries to stick it out and take the dribble back and see what he can make out of it. And he turned it into a great goal. And Virtuoso just muscles one straight through off the kickoff. Right down the center.
This is far too many goals going far too quickly, and wow. I haven't seen one of those in a long time. Virtuoso. Yeah. I love this. That goal exemplifies Virtuoso for all of the strategy in this world. For all of the crisp, clean touches, Virtuoso just sees the target and goes for it. Nothing else other than that, as we see a shot saved by Metza.
Virtuoso, of course, can be a big part of helping Relating Wave in terms of goal-scoring opportunities as well, as he has clearly established himself as a threatening presence on the offensive side of the pitch. And that's going to leave a lot of pressure on Metsonoris today to be solid in the midfield and on the back line in 2-on-1s against a very punishing Fadeaway squad where if you misposition or don't get a hit, you're going to get a good breakaway on you.
Oh, Ocelot looks to go forward. Couldn't get there before Relating Wave. Well, Metsonoris actually it was. And it will be on Metza for the most part to make sure that rotation is held as good as it possibly can. Never exactly heralded for his shooting ability. I do remember it was Season 5, actually. I think he got into day 3 of the World Championship before he scored his first goal. And still got top 3. You know, there is method to Metsonoris. At the end of the day, he is very much a role player, but he plays that role so well.
If you can get to day 3 of the World Championships without scoring a goal, I think your team's doing just fine.
Always been around towards that top side. He would like to get there again with Endpoint. Metza now called in. It's going to be Ocelot moving straight in for this ball, and that is an immediate shot. My goodness. For Fadeaway, they will want Ocelot to still be at the same form he was at earlier on. Defensively, Stout just wasn't making any mistakes. He might get as well on here, but it was a jump and a hope, and unfortunately, a hope does not save a shot like that.
Yeah, this is really one that requires extreme finesse from Ocelot in terms of speed control as you rotate back, because coming through that midfield line, he had to jump to dodge a demo. His teammate got beat behind him, so he has to flip back, and he's just got so much speed heading towards the goal line that it is a real feather touch on the gas and brake that requires the ability to stay with that play and not get too far ahead of it like you did. Just missed it.
So 2 goals to the better. 2 minutes left. Fadeaway looking to get their own plays going. That pass is far too far back on Freaky. Didn't really stand much of a chance of getting something going. Well, for Endpoint, to the start that they were very desperate for. Virtuoso long clear. It's only straight back over to Tigray, but that doesn't matter for them. They're not the ones that need to create anything. And Fadeaway, they'll be wondering what on earth they are doing with possession. They keep hitting the ball so hard, but often than not, there's no options for them. They are hitting and hoping for a mistake for a team that doesn't have to push too far ahead. So those mistakes aren't going to be as easy to get as Virtuoso looks to make it another one. Couldn't quite squeeze it in.
And I think that's really the big shortcoming of that Fadeaway roster, right? I mean, as we alluded to a little bit earlier in the show, they're excellent counterattackers and brilliant punishers of mistakes. But there's really nobody on that team that you look at and think, you know what they can do? Make 3 people miss and then score a flashy goal. They just don't have that knock you in the teeth and make a sick play potential as high as other teams. And when you need to score goals, when you're down 2 with 50 seconds and you don't have a player that you can be like, give them the ball and they'll make something happen, it makes it that much tougher.
Fadeaway does pass the ball down. Only 40 seconds, and you do get the feeling that if Fadeaway are going to make a comeback in this game, needs to be off a goal right here, right now, and that miss from Tigray. He was on no boost. It was always going to be difficult, but they just needed it, and they did not get it. So this game looks like it's pretty much done and dusted here. Double demo, why not? Virtuoso getting stat padding up.
Extermination. He got the extermination. He got 7.
My goodness. He really has invented a style for himself, hasn't it? It's a team dynamic between Metsonaris, Virtuoso relating wave there. Oh, he's got a bump.
Oh, no!
Good luck trying to play against this. He is the tiltiest player to go against because you just can't get any sense for it. And you look at the team dynamic. These are 3 players that have all got their own individual skill sets. Very much, you know, more skill set to specific things than I think we see for any other team in the world. But they make it work. Somehow it slots together.
And you want to know what makes Virtuoso so dangerous is because if you're chasing people around and you get 8 demolitions in a game like you just did in this one, and you're still able to put up 2 assists and a goal with 3 shots and really not feel like you're leaving your teammates in 2-on-1 counterattacks all the time, you're doing something right. And you were absolutely bang on correct about creating a style for himself and the way that he's able to find the line between the appropriate time to demo and still be a contributing member on the defensive half of things and creating scoring chances outside of just hitting people out of the way is a very powerful tool to have. So Virtuoso, I think, you know, I'm very curious to see where the continuation of his career goes because I think he's definitely got something going for him that not many, if any, people have.
And it is, you know, he's pretty much the guinea pig of sorts to see if a place like that. Oh, it's already happened. It's already been and gone. Virtuoso got such blood in his eyes that he even started hitting his own teammates. So maybe not that. There's another one gone. Well, when I got a chance to watch Endpoint this week when they were against Guild, there was much less of a focus from them about the demos, and they were much more focused on a regular rotation. I was wondering if we were going to see more of that this week. No, we're not. They've gone back to their norm, more or less, but that is the joy of us being on the broadcast, not necessarily. Oh, wow. It's just explosions era. Stop it, Virtuoso.
He's got 4 demos already.
It's like he's determined to try and see whether or not, if he hits them enough, the respawn will stop working. He's going to keep going until it's tested. My goodness. It has been absolutely insane so far, but, you know, it's the joy is that, for the desk especially, they've only had the chance to see Fadeaway. Well, you guys at home, though, you get a chance to see all the games live. Just go over to twitch.tv/ELeagueTV, and you can see what's happening over there. And you would have been very well informed that Endpoint are in form today. You could have been part of what could be the correct 50% for this one. Over there at the moment, Singularity top blokes. What have you got over there, Achieves?
Oh, for Singularity and top blokes? Or am I misunderstanding your question?
Nope. Who have you got? Who would win that one? You're not casting it, so you don't got to worry about it.
Ooh, I think I actually like Singularity, believe it or not. I really had a lot of fun watching their offense play last time we saw Europe. So I want to see Singularity make it through that one.
How many demos do you need to get a goal? Virtuoso, just... I don't know what the count is right now. We need someone, Twitch chat or anything, just start a running count.
Well, he had 4 in the first minute, so he's got at least 1 or 2 more by now.
I haven't got a goal for it just yet. That might change soon. It's a sort of playstyle as well that it feels like it does much more in a long series. If you can get 2 or 3 games in a row where he's doing that, it's very difficult to stay mentally in the zone against him because you just start looking out for it. You might start tilting. It is truly horrible.
There's another one. And that's a big play from Tigre there to come up and make that strong 50 right there on the midfield line, because Virtuoso, since he just got that demo, if that ball gets through Tigre, it's going to be a 1-on-2, maybe even 1-on-3. So Tigre is definitely understanding that, look, if people go down in the midfield, which is really where Virtuoso is getting most of his demos, then someone's got to step up on that fadeaway side and come up with a big challenge. And that's a very tough thing to do if you're not sure if the demos are coming through.
Well, they've managed to get the clear, and Metznaris, he's not got a great shooting percentage, but he's not missing that one any day of the week.
I hope that one doesn't get away from him.
Certainly not. It's wide open. He got the dribble play in the last one. He deserved a nice easy one this time around. So 1 up and Endpoint. Looking great here in game 2. And, well, Fadeaway, I can't really say how they look because they've not been on the field all that long.
Well, the thing about it is I think Fadeaway is actually playing very well, or about as well as they can, considering what they're up against. And what they're up against really is long clears from Endpoint side of the pitch, because I do think Fadeaway are actually in control of the ball most of the time, and Endpoint are just punting it out of their own half. And what's really throwing a wrench in it for Fadeaway is they're constantly getting demos on the second guy in the rotation, and so it puts a lot of pressure on number 1 to make a great touch, or to have number 3 close enough to the rotation to be able to come through and try and capitalize. That's just not happening.
Another one taken down. Relating Wave might just have a free goal here. He's just gone the other way, and that Freaky will get there just on time. Virtuoso scrambles back for a save. Still 1-0, 1 minute left. Freaky, well, I was going to say he was about to play it. He was, but he wasn't allowed to. Instead, now back into his own corner. That's not a great touch either. If someone was down the middle, could have worked well instead. Ocelon bumped Demo,
beautiful.
And he's got a hold of him. I was questioning where the play was going from Freaky, but Ocelon made the most of it.
Oh, yeah. Metza just couldn't quite reach it. I mean, it was absolutely a race all the way there, and Metza knew that he had to try and get in his face, but Ocelon just had the much better line to the ball, and he turned it into a beautiful air dribble goal off the kickoff. Relating Wave trying to get on the outside of a challenge and squeeze it into that lower corner, but unfortunately, nothing going. Tough ball here for Freaky, and thankfully Metza is too far away.
Oh, wow, Freaky. I thought Metza might have been the last player back. Ocelon's pass turns into a high jump challenge for Freaky. Couldn't quite jump high enough. Tigre now to Ocelon one more time. The passes just aren't forthcoming right now for Fadeaway. Know how lethal they can be once they start connecting with them, but it's not been so far. Virtuoso up, he didn't make contact. It's in anyway! Relating Wave shot was good enough, and Virtuoso was a diving distraction.
Absolutely. Ocelon totally thinking that Virtuoso was going to have a touch on that. He turns to the right because it looks like it's going to be hit down instead of straight in, and Virtuoso comes up empty because he couldn't reach it. It's not like he faked it. He legitimately couldn't reach the ball. But Ocelon, thinking that he had the touch, just got it to go over his head, and that is a tough way to lose a game if you're Fadeaway, because you absolutely had to battle for that one.
Yeah, I mean, that was a good... I mean, still, again, I think these are good performances from Fadeaway. They are just getting caught by 1 or 2 little things, and you can see what the result of it has been so far. And it's interesting, we do keep coming back to Virtuoso on this, but it's not just us that are confused by this playstyle. I had a chance to speak to Nolly a few weeks back about this playstyle from Endpoint, and he doesn't get it either. There's a lot of pro players that don't get it. He's almost insulted by the idea that Virtuoso leaves his teammates in 2v3s.
Yeah.
You know, against a team like that. Like, the players don't get it. I'm sure Endpoint players also sometimes don't quite get it, but it is rewriting, you know, what we have got to know in Rocket League. And I'll tell you what, as just a third-party enjoyer of the esport, it's great.
Yeah, I think it actually is great because it is, as you say, it's an incredible departure from what we normally see. And I literally spent 4.5 minutes out of that 5-minute game on Virtuoso's camera. And yeah, he absolutely does leave Virtuoso and Metsunara just alone on their own half. He's like, all right, make the play. I'm going to go open up holes. You guys just don't miss the ball. And they don't. So it's like they're putting in a bunch of work on that defensive side to make things happen.
Yes, certainly so. And for Fadeaway, the reverse sweep now required. They've still got 2 more opportunities if this one doesn't go their way. But they'd rather not be put into that position yet again, because that is where the questions start coming up. That is where you're the team that has to start reacting to losses of teams that have been coming in from wins. That is always going to be a difficult job to do. So then I want to try and figure this one out nice and quickly.
Power block.
Just a brick wall. Constantly going around for Endpoint. They have not given anything up for free. Ostalon called off by Freaky. Wants the long clear. One thing I would point towards for Fadeaway is that touches haven't been as clean as we saw earlier on. They're sort of getting over the top of the ball a little bit, but that one couldn't have been any better. Right over to Ostalon. And as a defender, well, you dive, you hope, and you sort of look a bit silly, really, but you tried all you could.
Yeah, relating wave there, thinking that he could let that ball come down a little bit further, but that back line of Fadeaway just jumped up, took it away, and Virtuoso kind of caught in no man's land, thinking that perhaps the challenge was going to happen, and to have that ball just come straight back to him. Just didn't have enough time to reposition, and he got beat.
Ooh, big result at the moment right now, which is currently not being streamed. 2 baguettes and a half, up 2-0 against Dignitas.
Oh, wow.
That is a team that us on the desk earlier on were questioning how they were performing. As Freaky will just get back in time. But yeah, that is a 3-2 in overtime and a 3-1. Dignitas with all to do over there. That is a 1-1 matchup.
I do believe there was some choice words about Dignitas during the pre-show from you guys.
I don't know what you're talking about. Pillars of positivity, especially Gibbs. Metzler over the top. Fadeaway got their lead. They'll want to try and keep it. The last time this happened, though, they did end up dropping it a little bit too quickly. Ostalon looks for the flip reset. He did get it.
Great.
Hasn't got the power, but still, he's got position for his team. Endpoint still always very quick to get bodies in front of the upcoming shot. Ostalon still being a hassle.
You know, maybe I spoke a little too soon about Fadeaway not having a player they can look to give the ball to, because Ostalon, while he hasn't converted every attempt or made them all into the most scoreable, he is doing a great job of really putting pressure on this defense.
Yeah, I think he's one of those players that he has forced the play to revolve around him. He's getting a lot of time on the ball.
Yeah.
And he is the right player to do it for, because he's not doing it with breaking rotation. He's just being very aggressive. And you get the feeling that a player of his caliber will make the chance count eventually. And once he does, he's going to make more and more happen after that.
He definitely seems to have the car control for it, that's for sure.
Metzer takes the ball down. Good flick. He's also got Virtuoso. It's almost an entire blue trio on that left-hand side of the field. Still getting away with it. Metzer coming in. Can't make contact. And Demo leaves Virtuoso by himself. Can very cleanly get rid of it, though. Fadeaway having a couple of ideas so far. They just haven't been quick enough to truly take advantage of them. Back to the corner yet again. Virtuoso actually managed to cover that. Ostalon didn't see him coming. He was hidden behind the ball. I don't think Virtuoso meant that one, but still worked good enough. Tigray looks to go the entire way. And Virtuoso not back in time. 2 to the better.
Was a race all the way. Virtuoso was hoping that there was boost in that midfield. It was empty, so he elects to go all the way to the corner instead of cutting into the goal and just taking the couple of pads on the way there. And that difference of time cost him the ability to make the save.
There will be no player on this field more desperate for a good result then than Tigray. RLCS last season went without a win. Last regional out 2-3 after being reverse swept by the Swiss. He will be desperate for that big result. Do it here. They'll do it in style. Drops down. Metsunaris taking the long way around. Still keeps the pressure going as Virtuoso tried to hit Tigray. Now drops the relating wave. Relating
Wow.
wave too early on the play. Virtuoso
I
still
love it.
sets it. And they've got a pure chaos happening for Fadeaway, but the goal's not going in. Fadeaway holding strong.
Virtuoso was sitting on that goal line for a good 5-6 seconds looking like a defender, but it was really just so he could throw the defense off with a little tip back out there. Loved the approach on offense with good passing from Endpoint, but you got to give a lot of credit to Fadeaway for not getting too antsy and diving it too much.
It's a long time that Metz. Oh dear, Metz. Well, he slowed the play down and then he missed the ball. Not exactly what you need when you've got 40 seconds left in the game and you're 2 goals back. Gonna have to try and score off this play then, otherwise this game could be done and dusted. Freaky challenges well, drops. Metzer comes in late. Tigray can instantly get there, so it looks like job done. Unless there is a major twist, an Endpoint can somehow get away, but you get the feeling that if that is going to happen, that will require a huge assist from Fadeaway, and they do not look likely to be handing that away so far. So 2-1, we're heading over to game 4. And, you know, none of these games have been overly one-sided. Both teams look like they're playing solid. So if this goes to game 5, would not be a surprise.
Yeah, I think this was really Fadeaway forcing Endpoint to play Fadeaway's game here, because it didn't feel too different than the previous game, right? Still felt a little bit like game 2, where Fadeaway's getting a lot of good pressure and Endpoint's having to clear the ball a lot. And unfortunately for Endpoint, in this one, they didn't have anywhere near the same success of opening up the holes in the midfield and coming up with those big defensive clears that go into the possession of themselves past that midfield line. It was Fadeaway getting a lot more hands on the challenges, I felt like. And after that, I mean, when Endpoint get the ball back, because Virtuoso has to rotate back because his teammates aren't winning the challenges, instead of demoing people in the midfield and giving them opportunities, well, then Endpoint has to try and take a more traditional approach to the offense. And to be fair, they had some good looks, but at the same time, that's really what Fadeaway is good at. I mean, they can really just play quote-unquote textbook Rocket League all day long and be just fine. And while they had a couple of creative attempts with the passes right on the goal line and stuff like that, it was great fun to watch. They just couldn't bring it back. So Fadeaway and Endpoint really played the same game over again, but game 2 was Endpoint's way to play it, and game 3 was Fadeaway's way to play it.
Yeah, I feel like if there was any way I could really differentiate the performances from both teams, is that one Tigray showed up. He assisted with a fantastic pass over to Ocelon. He bundled the ball over for that second. You know, Tigray, he's the one that wants it the most. And you get the feeling that that level of desperation might result in some phenomenal performances for him. He's going to need another. I've already heard 2 demos. And unfortunately, Fadeaway, they have felt 2 demos. Oh, Freaky gets one back. There you go. There's a receipt. Freaky now over to the corner. Taking their time. Fadeaway, as always. Very cautious, but maybe too cautious. Virtuoso just held himself downfield. Gave the option to his team, and he definitely tested the defense. Now it's Freaky's turn to test. Tigray already too close, and they would have brought it to bring Ocelon into that one instead. He had a better angle for the shot. That midfield has gone from uncontested to a pure war zone as it's off the backboard. Virtuoso, he's missed it. Tigray was diving forward, but Virtuoso would want to test him more.
That's disappointing too, because Relating Wave really did make a phenomenal touch there on that goal line to get that one back into a scoreable spot. And Tigray again coming up big with a nice challenge off that midfield line to put it in a scary place for him here.
The backboard. Tigray keeps the pressure up. So Ocelon comes in. He's got the midfield option. He does take it. Virtuoso already covers. I'm loving this now. No team is ever caught out by that play anymore. It's just a pure race to the ball. You throw the ball over there. See who can get to it first. Right now, Fadeaway seems to be getting the better of this midfield race. Ocelon decides to go for the slow play. Realizes Metzer was backwards. Now keeps going. Relating Wave's the next target. Takes it all the way up. Tigray's taking one out. Ocelon will take the other.
And they were doing the right thing on Endpoint's defense here. Give Ocelon the space because they let him start that dribble. And so they started playing shadow defense and just letting Ocelon bring the ball closer until they could time their challenge a little better. And Tigray decided he was going to go throw a huge wrench into that plan.
Metzer Hooks it round over for Virtuoso again, Freaky. Dives in. And he gets there just in time. Pressure still on though, off the backboard. Tigray gets there. Endpoint getting a lot of rebounds that they can work with so far. They'll be up to how quickly they can read it. Because they're not going to be able to forecast it too far ahead. It is going to be a flash decision as Freaky almost dives straight into the ball. Still 1-0 to the better. 2.5 minutes remaining here. Freaky's back to the long clears. You'll expect to see this though when Fadeaway are ahead. They want to force you onto that backboard for as long as they can.
Or jam the ball in the corner. Both suit them just fine.
Metzer, he's gone for another 1v1 play. Already scored one of those. Why not try and get another one? Relating wave forced back yet again. Oh, he's made a huge mistake. No one there to follow up. Freaky's gone for an awful angle. And he just couldn't quite get it. Would have been more surprising than anything else if he managed to actually slot that one in.
Cool under fire. Never fun to make a mistouch like that across your own goal line. The immediate sense of sadness and doom that settles in is a tough one to fight as that one's boomed towards the top right corner. And again, Endpoint forced to go for some passing plays against a well-guarded net.
Virtuoso for Relating Wave. It's a good shot, but it's a shot that might have tested earlier on in the game if this was at least still tied. Right now, Freaky happy to sit back. That's 2 players gone. Metzer and Relating Wave getting in front of his way. They still managed to get it to work. That is an incredible shot. Oslon gets there in time. He's got rid of the danger, but it's getting closer and closer for Endpoint. One more chance might be all it takes.
They're shooting. Oh, crazy touch there from Relating Wave. Where's Virtuoso?
This has been a rapid fire game. Chances are all over the place. Very different to match number 1. Tigray misses, but Relating Wave, he's got in for 0 boost. Maybe the miss was the best possible thing for Fadeaway because it baited Relating Wave.
Yeah, he thought about it. It's just, oh, that's a great wave dash from Ocelon. Oh, wave dash onto the wall to gain the extra speed. Otherwise, that was going to be a tie to that ball at the least. Or it could have been a win, but Ocelon, I didn't even catch that wave dash the first time. That was beautiful. Wow.
Ocelon's having the day of his career so far. It has been so consistent, so phenomenal. And he's doing it on both sides of the ball as well. Defensively, offensively. There's something always to be said when you can have this much of an impact without disrupting the way your team is playing.
689-point game for Ocelon. 2 goals, 4 saves, and 5 shots. Talk about getting it done here in Game 4.
2 goals up, and it looks like Game 5 is inevitable. Fadeaway reverse swept by the bracket last time. They're 1 game away from reverse sweeping their way to stage 2.
It's going to be a tough one. This game was very close to being equalized on more than one occasion for Endpoint. 0 goals on 11 shots, excuse me. And those could have easily dropped. A lot of those pinging right above the crossbar, bouncing in and around the goal line. And so, Endpoint, they know they could have got this one, but some hero saves and some calm approaches to some tight scenarios get Fadeaway a win, combined with some great play from Ocelon.
Yeah, Fadeaway have adapted well here. I was worried about what would happen, especially after those first 2 games. Game 2 was as Endpoint a game as they could possibly want. You know, when your playstyle is going that well, you do have the possibility of really just mentally getting into the way of Fadeaway. Yeah, and they haven't. They've just got better for it. Tigray has been great. Ocelon has been fantastic. Freaky has been so solid. And now 5 minutes away. They look to try and take themselves through to the next stage. Can Endpoint bounce back, though, from a series that looks to be getting out of their own hands? Not a single one of these has been one-sided, though, bar game number 2. And a quick update for your Chiefs. The sweep happens. Dignitas lose 3-0 against 2 baguettes and a half.
Brutal. Well, Dignitas, you got work to do. You know that.
Another update for you, if I'm just going to keep the news coming.
Reading the
Triple
ticker.
trouble. lose 3-1 to Venk.
Well, good job, Venk.
Yeah, they are having a great
kind of,
day for themselves. And
right on that bubble there.
If you haven't got enough Game 5 going for yourselves, if you really want to get the adrenaline pumping, then we have another Game 5 happening over at twitch.tv/eLeagueTV. Top Blokes and Singularity going the distance as well. What a day. Europe delivering yet again. Off the backboard, Tigray would like to try and deliver a chance for his team, but Virtuoso says, what team? They're not on the field anymore, buddy. It's just you.
But it's too slow on the clears right now as Freaky trying to find the gap on the right side. And a little bit too far behind the ball, though. And it just feels like the clear's a little bit too weak from Endpoint. This is the first one to at least cross the midfield line, and maybe that's all they needed. Double commit. It's going to be awkward here for everybody. This one just gets stuck here in the fadeaway corner.
Well, we don't tend to see the highest quality Rocket League when we go over the Champions Field, because that is where the nerves tend to flare up. Off the backboard, Freaky does double commit with a teammate, but as long as they get rid of it, they won't be too bothered by that right now.
Oh my goodness.
Here is Metza.
Oh
Good
my
first
goodness.
touch. Oh, he's not got the speed. He was waiting for it, desperate for it to bounce off the backboard so he could take the shot, and the ball simply refused to go any faster. Now big clear Tigray, he might have this. Relating Wave dives and he gets it.
Again, just so close for Endpoint. It took some huge touches from Relating Wave, and Virtuoso oh so close to finding that demo that would have allowed Metza that extra time for the ball to get there. Endpoint, you know, you feel like it's got to happen sometime, right? But does it happen in 2 minutes and 30 seconds?
That's an awkward angle to work with. Double commits galore for both teams. Tigray takes his shot. Metza be very happy that it was right at him. There's so many Relating Wave up yet again. That's very clearly the one in the rotation. Virtuoso starts to slow down the other one, but Fadeaway has just started adding extra heads to the Hydra. Take out one. We've already got someone else to try and replace him. Now Metza's got to read it. He fails to do so. Osman moves in for the shot, and it's in!
And that all goes back to that big block from Tigray in the midfield. We talked about it early on in the series. You know, it requires that third man to be able to fill the gap quickly off the demo in the midfield, which Virtuoso got. Unfortunately, though, Tigray right behind it took the ball right back into that Endpoint side, and a bit of a scramble for Virtuoso and co, and they could not recover. Fadeaway turn in another go-ahead goal.
Well, that's the biggest step taken. Now we just have to survive for 2 minutes. Freaky on the hood. Virtuoso of a fake challenge. Manages to get the play at least somewhat working for him. But we already know just how difficult Fadeaway are to break down when they've got a lead. They are hitting the ball clean. That complaint I had earlier on is completely nullified. If they give Fadeaway a single ball that is unchallenged or is just making contact with a surface, they are going to half volley it. And the chance will be gone. Huge demo. Tigray won't be able to finish it. As Freaky went for some dynamic
he was trying to
plays.
get around it.
Yeah, not quite able to.
What do you do if you're Endpoint here? Do you have time? I think it all starts with how you get the clears, and Relating Wave, good head on his shoulders, not panicking there. Realizing that was off the bar.
The issue is, Endpoint's transition game has been so slow that Fadeaway can get all the players back. They have not got to worry. They've got 3 people behind the ball, a couple of them backed up on the backboard, a few in the goal. Any way you put it, they've pretty much got it covered.
I like this.
Oh, they needed to touch. Virtuoso was waiting for it midfield. Another booming clear. Each one of these is just another punch to the gut for Endpoint.
It looked so good.
They were dominating this series.
They're not done yet, though. Final 30. Endpoint have had solid look after solid look. They just need one of them to drop.
Freaky, another touch. 20 seconds now. Metza for Relating Wave. It's so many slow transitions. Fadeaway are completely unfazed by it. I've been talking for so long. The chance has not set itself up just yet. Maybe this is the one. Metza wants the challenge. It's going to drop such an awful position for Relating Wave to try and work with.
We got
Wants to keep the pressure going, and it will drop down. Fadeaway have done it. 3-0 on the day. They move through to stage number 2.
Wow, a fantastic reverse sweep from Fadeaway and some brilliant adjustments. And as we alluded to early, Virtuoso, it's a fine line you walk, trying to be the demo man and have a lot of faith in your team and still be providing substance to your team. And here in Game 5, he stepped a little bit too far over the line. Goose eggs except for 2 shots. And Virtuoso just didn't open up enough holes because Fadeaway started just absolutely crushing the challenge game in those final 3 games. So big ups to Fadeaway. I thought Ocelon and Tigre both played very well.
I've got to say, you know, Tigre played fantastic, but Ocelon was a step above everybody in the second half of that one. That is phenomenal play from them. It is a phenomenal result for Fadeaway, and it is redemption secured. When we come back, it is our other undefeated teams going head-to-head. Reno Vitality against Team Liquid.